All right, we are back. Champions League finally returns this week. I know we had the knockout rounds for a few weeks there, but this is where the tournament really starts. I'm going to give my predictions for every single match. I'm going to go all the way through the final. I'm going to predict the winner in this video. I'm going to try to keep it short for each match just because there are too many matches. First up, PSG versus Chelsea. This is not the same PSG team that we saw last year. There have been clear moments this season where PSG have tripped up a bit, but I'll be honest, this is the point of the season last year where PSG started to cook. But personally, even though I don't think PSG at this moment in time is as good as the team that won the Champions League last season, I think they're still going to be too much for Chelsea. That midfield is just too crazy. Vitinha and Joao Neves, they're just better than Caicedo and Enzo or whoever Chelsea will have in the midfield. It's also looking like Chelsea are going to be without some of their attacking depth, specifically Estevao. It's looking like Estevao will not be playing, at least in the first leg. All that to say, I think PSG is going to go through. I think it's still going to be close, though. I think the first leg is in Paris. I think PSG will win that by maybe 2 goals. I'm thinking 4-2 PSG in the first leg. Second leg, I think Chelsea will come back and win, but it's not going to be enough. I got Chelsea 2-1 against PSG. So on aggregate, it's going to be 5-4 PSG. PSG go through to the quarterfinal. Next up, Galatasaray, Liverpool. This is interesting because Galatasaray are a scrappy team, and Liverpool are not playing their best football right now. They just need some motivation in the locker room. Like, it doesn't seem like they come out to play with intensity every match. And against this Gala team, that you're going to need that, especially in the first leg. I think Galatasaray will be all over Liverpool in the first leg. I don't necessarily think they will win, but there's a great chance that they could win in Istanbul. I think that the first leg will be 2-2, but then for the second leg, I think Liverpool will sweep Galatasaray away. I think it's going to be like 3-1, 4-1 in the second leg. I got this one 6-3 on aggregate to Liverpool. I think Liverpool will go through. They'll be facing PSG. It's going to be a rematch of last year in the quarterfinals. It's going to be great. I just think there are too many positive matchups for Liverpool all over the field. Kirkez or Robertson over Sané. Gravenberch in the midfield over Gundogan. And Ekitike, I think, could hound the Galatasaray center-back partnership like crazy. He's an absolute beast right now. And actually, Galatasaray's support is banned from going to Anfield in the second leg. I think that's huge as well. So I got Liverpool going through. Next up, Real Madrid, Manchester City. They have faced each other so many times the last few years, especially that Rodrigo moment in extra time that sent Real Madrid through a couple years ago. But I think Manchester City has too much for this Real Madrid team, especially at this moment in time. Real Madrid is so injured. They're dealing with just countless numbers of injuries, suspensions. It's unclear if Mbappe will be back for the first leg, but I'm going to think as if he is going to be back. I think Real Madrid will get a result in the first leg. At the Etihad, I think City will get the win here. I think it's going to be City to go through. I have a draw in leg 1. I have Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 2 in the first leg. Second leg, I think Manchester City will win 3-1. On aggregate, 5-3 this tie. I think Manchester City will be through. All right, this is going to be a quick one. Bayern Munich versus Atalanta. Look, I really like Atalanta as a team, but Bayern Munich is the best team in the world right now. At this current moment, I think Bayern is the best team in the world right now. Their attack is unbelievable. Musiala is coming back from injury. Harry Kane is having possibly the best season in the world right now. And I think it's just going to be domination over 2 legs, like 3-1, 4-1 in both legs. Yeah, I have it 7-2 on aggregate for Bayern. Easy work. Newcastle, Barcelona. I actually think this is probably one of the toughest ties to predict. I think this is a lot closer than a lot of people will think. And the fact is that there are a lot of big injuries on both sides. It's looking like Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali is dealing with an injury, Voltamat is dealing with injury, Balde, Koundé, De Jong for Barcelona, all looking like they're not going to make the first leg of this one. But in the end, I'm riding with my boy Lamine Yamal. Like he's going to make a moment. It's going to be a moment of magic from Lamine Yamal to separate these two teams. It's going to be close, man. I have this one 4-3 on aggregate. Barcelona will win the first leg 2-1, and then they'll draw the second leg 2-2. Just barely scrape through Barcelona. This is going to be a really tough one. Atletico versus Tottenham. Again, this is going to be another quick one. Tottenham look like they're possibly the worst team in England. Like, there's a very serious chance they get relegated. And Atleti is playing like a team reborn. Like just beating Barcelona in the Copa del Rey semifinal. Again, this is going to be actually very similar to that Copa del Rey semifinal. I think Atleti will win the first leg at home, probably 3 or 4-0, and then they're just going to sit back and defend in the second leg. Tottenham might scrape a goal. I think it might be like a 1-1 draw or something like that. I have Atleti 4-1 on aggregate. They'll go through. They'll face Barcelona in the quarterfinal. That's going to be a great match. Sporting versus Bodo Glimt. This is the toughest one for me, because Bodo is an absolute wild card. Bodo remind me of that Ajax team from, I think, 2019 when they lost to Spurs in the semifinal. Bodo remind me of that team. They really do. I think anything could happen. Personally, I have Sporting going through. I think Sporting has the matchup to beat Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt is a team that will play off the counterattack and defend. Sporting are built to break down defenses. That's what they have to deal with in the Portuguese league every single week. They have to deal with teams sitting back, defending them, hitting them on the counter. They know how to play against this. The biggest wild card is going to be the leg in Bodo, just because the pitch and the temperature and the fans, it's all a wild card, 100% wild card. This match will be won or lost for Sporting at Bodo Glimt. If the goal difference is less than 2 after the Bodo leg, I think they're going to be fine. I think Bodo Glimt will win the first leg in Bodo by a goal, like 1-0 or something like that, and then Sporting will come back at home. They will score enough to win the tie against Bodo. I have this one 2-1 on aggregate. I think Bodo will win the first leg 1-0. Sporting will win the home leg 2-0. On aggregate, 2-1 to Sporting. Sporting to go through. But I will say, out of any of these, I think this is the most likely to go to penalties, especially if Bodo take advantage in that home leg. They score by 2 or more goals. I could see penalties for sure. Leverkusen versus Arsenal is the last one. Arsenal's going to go through. Like, they will. I don't think it's going to be by much. It's not going to be super convincing, but they're going to control the match. They're going to do what they always do. Their long throw-ins, their corner tactics, all this stuff. They're going to implement this, but they'll get through. They'll get through it. And I think Leverkusen could put up a fight. They've played really well against English teams this season. I think they beat Manchester City, and then they drew against Newcastle earlier in the Champions League. They've done very well against English teams. And it's not like they don't have the attacking power to break down Arsenal. They definitely do. Like Malik Tillman, Grimaldo, all these guys, attacking-wise, I think Leverkusen could do it. For me, I think it's going to be a low-scoring, close tie, but Arsenal will win 2-1 on aggregate. I think the first leg is actually going to be a draw, like 0-0 or 1-1, but the second leg at the Emirates is going to be a 2-1 win to Arsenal, and they're going to go through to the quarterfinal. That's all of the matchups that I have scripted. I actually haven't even really run through the bracket like this yet, so I'm just going to kind of do this off the cuff. PSG-Liverpool. I'm going to say PSG will beat Liverpool again. At this moment in time, I'm not convinced that Liverpool can beat a team like PSG over 2 legs. Manchester City-Bayern. That is very, very interesting. I'm actually going to come back to this one. Barcelona-Atleti. I have Barca. I think Barca are the more complete team. They will want revenge after that Copa del Rey semifinal. And Lamine Yamal is starting to enter playoff mode. I don't even know what to call it, bro. Like, once he gets a sniff of the playoffs, there are certain players like Lamine Yamal, when they get a taste of playoff football, they're not going to let off the gas. Okay, it doesn't matter. They are winning. Okay, they're winning. So I got Barcelona beating them. Arsenal to beat Sporting. Again, like the Bodo matchup, I'd like Sporting as a matchup against Arsenal. I actually do. Better than Leverkusen, to be honest. I think this will be a great match, but I will say Arsenal will go through. Back to Manchester City, Bayern Munich. I got to say Bayern Munich. I think they're playing better than Manchester City right now. But I will say, at this point in the season, we might be able to tell if the Premier League is won or lost for Manchester City, and he might dedicate everything to the Champions League or to the FA Cup. So if they end up losing to Bayern Munich, this would be devastating for Pep, especially in his last season at City. It'll be a tough one, but at this moment in time, I'm saying Bayern Munich will beat Manchester City. Semi-finals now. PSG Bayern Munich. This is a banger. This is a great one. Again, I think Bayern, at this moment in time, I'm going to go with Bayern. Not the same PSG from last year. This Bayern team is unbelievable right now. Defensively, midfield, attack. They literally have everything. This Bayern team reminds me of the PSG team from last year. They're probably going to have the Ballon d'Or winner. They have an amazing midfield. They got it all. Barcelona, Arsenal. This is where the Arsenal train ends. Okay, Barcelona, they're too good. Attacking wise, they're too good for Arsenal. They will be able to break them down. The real concern I have is if it is close and it gets scrappy, because that obviously plays into Arsenal's hands. And they'll probably be playing for that right off the jump. If Arsenal make it against Barcelona, they'll make it physical. They'll make it dirty. But I got Barcelona to go through, and I got Barcelona to win the whole thing. I really do. I got Barcelona to win the Champions League this season. Oh my gosh, flashbang. Yeah, I got Barcelona to win the Champions League. It's going to be a Lamine Yamal carry. And I think this might decide the Ballon d'Or. Whoever wins, I think if Bayern wins, Kane will get it. If Barca wins, Lamine Yamal will get it. That's just how these things roll. It could also be a foreshadowing to the World Cup final. Yeah, that's what I got. Champions League back up again on Tuesday. Let me know who you got to win the Champions League, and we will be there.